All right, I started the recording, so we should be good to go.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for your assistance as always. Glad to have you tonight. All right, so for those on the Zoom call, welcome. This is the November meeting of the Brighton Zoning Board of Appeals. And just a couple of little ground rules. We handle this meeting in the order with the applications we have. We only actually have one new application tonight. And then beyond that, we have 4 that we would be discussing that were from the previous month. So we will do them in that order. So if you are a presenter, then you would indicate so when we call the application. And then you would give us, in your estimation, the reason why we should approve your application. After that, the board members would, or during that period, the board members will ask any questions that they might have. And then I will invite, when we're finished with the presentation and questions, I'll invite anybody on the call that wants to speak regarding the application to do so. And then once that's completed, then we close the public hearing and move to the next one. Once they're all completed, we'll move through into deliberations, and you can certainly listen to those if you wish. If you decide not to, then you can call Mr. DeStefano in the building office tomorrow and see what the result of your application was. Okay, so at this time, I'd just like to call this November meeting to order. Mr. Secretary, can you call the roll?
Mr. Primo,
Here.
Ms. Schwartz,
Here.
Ms. Tompkins Wright,
Here.
Mr. Mites,
Here.
Ms. McKay Drury,
Here.
Ms. Schmidt. Ms. Schmidt,
He was here.
unmute.
I muted myself, so you didn't hear the dog. I'm sorry.
Okay,
You're here, correct?
I am here.
okay. And he's not welcome to participate. Okay.
Let the record show all members are present.
Okay, great. Okay, so we do have the September meeting minutes. Does anyone have any additions, corrections, deletions, etc.?
Mr. Chairman, just before we get into that, I'd just like to state that this meeting was properly
yes.
advertised in the Daily
Yes.
Record of October 28th, 2021.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for that. Okay, so now we're totally legit. So let's do the September minutes. Does anyone have anything for those minutes related to those decisions or any other issues with them? If not, could I get a motion for those
I
minutes?
move that we approve the minutes of the September 1st, 2021 meeting.
And a second, please?
Second.
Okay,
The motion is to approve. Mr. Primo,
Yes.
Ms. Schwartz,
Yes, I mean, I
Ms.
read
Tom-
it,
Ms.
but
Tompkins Wright,
yes.
Mr. Mites,
yes.
Ms. McKay Drury,
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt.
Yes.
Let the record show that the motion to approve the minutes carries.
Okay, very good. Okay, so Rick, when you're ready, you could read the first application.
Application 11A0121, application of Amanda and Michael Jewer, owners of property located at 1300 French Road for one, an area variance in sections 203-2.1B3 and 203-9A to allow for a detached garage to be 960 square feet in size and move the maximum 600 square feet allowed by code. And 2, an area variance from section 207-6A1 to allow said detached garage to be 20 feet 2 inches in height and move the maximum 16 feet allowed by code. I'll describe an application and plans on file.
Okay, so who do we have speaking for this application?
I'm Michael Dreer. This is my wife, Amanda Dreer. We're the owners of the property and the applicants.
Okay, just for the record, guys, can you just give us your address, please?
1300 French Road in Brighton.
Okay, great. Okay, so please proceed.
As the board is aware, this is an application to construct a detached garage The variances that we're seeking are height variance, 20 feet 2 inches instead of the allowed 16 feet. And then the area variance of 960 square feet, I believe. The structure was designed fairly carefully with the historical nature of the property in mind. The property is covered under the historical preservation code for the town. The existing house on the property has been there since approximately 1900. It is 33 feet and just a shade more in height, with existing chimneys that are about 38 feet in height. So to make the structure appear in scale, 20 feet 2 inches was deemed really the shortest that we could get away with by the when we drew it up with the architect. It is quite a distance from the property line, so it's really not going to impose at all on the neighbor's light or view into the yard. Likewise, the square foot variance, it's a 3-car garage, which is not out of line with the size of the other structures on the property, and more importantly, was of a size that was necessary for us. We own 2 vehicles and we have 2 children. As you can see in the photographs, storage space is kind of an issue for bicycles and toys and other items, lawnmowers, that otherwise have to be stored outside or carried up and down the stairs. That's the purpose of the variance request. Again, as indicated in the application, the setbacks are significantly more than are common in Brighton. This property is fairly large. It's the original parcel that's left over from when the surrounding farmland was sold off to build the surrounding residential neighborhoods. So it's 53 feet, I believe I measured, to the fence line. 55 feet, excuse me, to the fence line. And to French Road, which is the nearest adjoining road, it's about 55 yards. So certainly the setbacks are significant here.
I just want to know, I apologize, the photographs my husband was referring to actually were the ones we submitted to the preservation board. So this board does not have those, but it basically just showed that we have a lot of children's gear and family gear around our door area in our driveway because we don't have a place to store it.
Okay, very good. Do you have any? Go ahead.
Sorry, one addition, with regard also to the height of the structure, the upper area of the garage is going to have a pull down set of stairs and storage trusses rather than any sort of attic trusses. It's not going to be an insulated structure. It's not going to have a fixed staircase, so it's not going to be suitable to be turned into any sort of living space or used for anything other than just seasonal storage of items that can be brought up and down that kind of a staircase. So hopefully that will allay any concerns the board would have with turning it into living space or usable space. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Questions by the board?
Dennis, this is Ken Gordon, Town Attorney. I just wanted to share with the board and as part of the presentation by the Drayers, that the Drayers did present to the Historic Preservation Commission. And actually what is being shown to this board for variance purposes today is part of a much more extensive overall project. And the Historic Preservation Commission was very favorably disposed towards the presentation made and granted a certificate of appropriateness, finding that the renovations would be consistent, subject of course to them applying for and obtaining the variances required under the code. But the architectural components of this, including the height and size of the structures, was certainly part of what the Historic Preservation Commission looked at in concluding that the proposed project was consistent with the historic character of the property. I just wanted to share that with the zoning board as well.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, any other questions by the board members related to this application?
This is member Wright, and I apologize if I missed this in the documents provided, but can you give us an idea of the height of the home as compared to the height of the to be constructed garage?
I'm not sure if this was stated that clearly in the documents, although I think some of the documents are to scale, but the house is about 33 feet to the peak. It's 33 feet and just a shade more. And there's 2 chimneys that are approximately an extra 5 feet for 38 feet and just a shade more on the house.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm good.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thank you folks very much. Is there anyone on the call that would like to speak regarding this application? Okay, there being none, then the public hearing is closed. All right, Rick, I guess we're going to go into the old business applications next.
Well, actually, all the public hearings are closed on that, so actually we can go into our decision portion of the meeting.
Oh, that's right. Yes, they are closed. That's right. I apologize for that. Okay. All right, well, then we can circle right around and deal with application 11A0121. All right, Ed, I think you have this.
What? No, I don't think I have that one.
No, Kathleen has it.
I have
Oh, I'm
that.
sorry. I apologize, Kathleen. Yeah, but I've got too many pieces of paper floating around here. Okay, so does anyone have concerns other than what was discussed in the public hearing related to 1300 French Road?
I'm good with that.
Yeah, no concerns. It's certainly needed.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's never been a garage there ever.
Well, it's good that, the property is being respected, and
Yeah.
obviously the certificate from the historic board is an important step in that process. So, okay, well then, Kathleen, I think you have the floor.
All right. I made some approvals as the homeowners were kind enough to add some additional information, so hopefully it will
Sure.
flow. All right. I move to approve application 11A-03-21 based on the following findings of fact. 1, the first variance request is to allow for detached garage to be 960 square feet in size in lieu of the maximum 600 square feet allowed by code. 2, the second variance request is to allow the new garage to be 20 feet 2 inches in height in lieu of the maximum 16 feet allowed by code. 3, the granting of these variances will not produce an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or be a detriment to nearby properties. The property itself is a historic farmhouse, and the new garage is designed to fit with the historical character of the property and resemble a barn that could have been present at the time the home was built. While on a main road, the garage itself is set back more than 150 feet from the road and will likely not be noticeable to any passerbys as it will be behind the home. In the rear, it will be approximately 55 feet from a stockade fence. The closest neighboring home is more than 100 feet away, and the garage will be screened for the most part by existing trees and planned additional planting. The garage appears to be scaled in proportion to the home. 4, the requested variances are not substantial and are the least required to be consistent with the style and age and size of the farmhouse and fit the modern storage and automobile needs of this family. 5, the benefits sought by the applicant cannot reasonably be achieved with a smaller garage. 6, there is no evidence that there would be a negative impact on the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood. Conditions. The variances apply only to the garage described in the application and testimony provided and will not apply to future projects. 2, all necessary architectural review board approvals and building permits shall be obtained.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Because this is a historic property, they don't
Okay.
receive architecture review board approval. They receive Historical Preservation Commission certificate of appropriateness. And it appears they have already obtained that. So I think if we just leave it at building permit, would be fine.
Okay,
So just all necessary building permits. And I do have a question. I know in the past on other height issues with garages, we have kind of put some conditions in regards to the use of that second floor. Do you want to perhaps make a condition regarding that the second floor be used for storage only?
that makes sense. I had something similar to that, but I took it out because they had testified that they weren't going to be using it that way. But I think it makes sense just to add that condition that the second floor of the garage will be used solely as storage.
Yeah, it makes sense because it's to protect it in the future, not to say
Correct.
that this, these owners would do anything other than storage, but when the property is transferred, somebody were to come in and want to do something with that upper area, there is that condition with the variance that says, no, it can only be used for storage.
Thank you for suggesting that. That's an excellent addition.
Okay,
Second,
very good.
Dennis, if I could.
Yes,
I think I heard Kathleen, you start out by saying, referring to this as application 11A03 21. It's at 11A.
11A01, right?
It is. Thank you, Ken.
So if you would accept that friendly amendment to call it 11A0121, and Judy, if that's okay with you as well.
Very good.
Yes? I just need a yes.
Yes.
yes,
Motion.
you hear me? Okay.
The motion is to approve with conditions. Mr. Primo,
Yes,
Ms. Tompkins Wright,
Yes.
Mr. Mike,
Yes,
Ms. McKay Drury, Ms. Schwartz,
Yes,
and Ms. Schmidt.
Yes.
Motion to approve with conditions carries.
okay, very good. Good luck, folks. Thank you. All right. So the next piece of business would be 9A0321, which is 36 Eastland Avenue. I know there were a few materials submitted.
Yeah, there is another packet that was submitted. It should have been with your packet that came over yesterday in regards to a modification. So as per the agenda, the application has been modified. Part 2 to read an area variance from section 207-6A1 to allow said garage to be 18 feet 3.25 inches in height, modified from the original request of 19 feet 0.5 inches in height, and move the maximum 16 feet allowed by code.
Okay. All right, so discussion on this.
yeah,
Whatever.
this is mine. I think this is the third time this one has come
Yes,
up.
yes, it has.
I haven't had a problem with it before. The applicant has made a adjustment, lowering the size of the variance. I would suggest we use the same conditions for use of the second floor storage area that we did for the prior one.
Correct. Okay, well, do any other board members have concerns about this application
no,
with the modifications as well as the original?
no, I'm glad that they did take into account what many of us said, that we felt it was a little bit large, tall especially, so I thank them for that.
Okay, very good. Any other concerns by any of the other board members?
No concerns.
Okay, Ed.
I move that we approve application 9A-03-21 for 2 area variances to allow a new detached garage structure of 672 feet and a height of 18 feet, 3.25 inches based on the following findings of fact. 1, the requested area variance for a single-family home is a type 2 action pursuant to 6 NYCRR section sign 617.5 C in parens, 17 in parens, and no review is required pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. 2, the requested variances are the minimum variances necessary to address the benefits sought by the applicant and are not substantial given the totality of the circumstances. The existing garage needs to be replaced and relocated slightly for access and to increase storage. The 72-foot area variance allows a shed-like extension on the back for storage. The 2-foot, 3.25-inch height variance will increase the loft storage area and allow access. As explained by the applicant's architect, the additional height allows for a roof pitch that closely matches the existing home and allows for future installation of solar panels at the roof pitch, but still allows solar energy efficiency. The applicant has reduced the size of the variance from the original application by design modification, making it the minimum variance necessary. And I would refer to the November 1st, 2021 letter from the applicant's architect. The proposed structure in size and height is similar to other 2-car garages in the area. The proposed garage is well screened by fencing and vegetation to minimize impacts to the neighbors. 3, no other alternatives can alleviate the difficulty and provide the desired result. 4, there'll be no unacceptable change in the character of the neighborhood and no substantial detriment to nearby properties is expected from approval of the variances. 5, the hardship was not self-created by the applicant. 6, the health, safety, and welfare of the community will not be adversely affected by the approval of the variances. The following conditions will apply. 1, these approvals are based on the application submitted, including various drawings, plans, letters, and testimony, and only authorizes the project described therein. 2, subject to obtaining all necessary building permits and inspections. 3, the second floor area of the garage will be used for storage only.
Second.
Motion is to approve with conditions. Ms. Schmidt,
Yes.
Ms. McKay Drury,
Yes.
Mr. Mites. Mr. Mites,
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins Wright,
Yes.
Ms. Schwartz,
Yes.
Mr. Primo.
Yes.
Motion to approve with conditions carries.
Okay, the next application is 1850 Winton Road. That's for the cellular support equipment on the ground. Anybody have any concerns related to that? I think they did a pretty good explanation of it last month.
I think from our last meeting, we were kind of feeling pretty good about this. We had to have seeker performed on it, which you received a negative declaration prepared by town staff. They still need to obtain a water course EPOD permit, which I think should be conditioned as part of this approval, if that's where you're going. And I don't know if there's any other questions or comments the board members have.
Rick, I had Ramsey sign the EPOD today. We can put that in as an update.
Okay, so the EPOD is ready to be issued. So I guess we're pretty good shape there. But it doesn't hurt to keep put there as a condition.
Yeah, to obtain it, yes, okay.
Yep.
Good. All right, so if there's no concerns, I have this. So first, the board having considered the information presented by the applicant and having conducted the required review pursuant to seeker, adopts the negative declaration prepared by town staff and determines that the proposed action will not likely have a significant environmental impact. And I move we approve application 9A0621 based on the following findings of fact. One, the applicant has found no available space within the subject building to place their cellular equipment. Two, the proposed location will allow for safe access at all hours in any emergency situation requiring the equipment to be serviced. Three, the proposed location is barely visible from the street or adjacent parking areas. And four, no negative effect on the character of the neighborhood area will likely result from this approval since the area is in a commercial zone and surrounded by major roadways. Conditions, number one, based on testimony given and the specific size and location of the structure in plans submitted. Two, what do we need, Rick? Anything specific here?
I would put number two would be unnecessary EPOD.
Okay, I had that, but I was just trying to
Okay.
talk about any other ones, any other. permits?
I would just say building permits and EPODs, however you want.
Okay, well, that's fine. We can lump it together then. All building permits and obtaining the EPOD permit. Okay,
All building permits and EPOD permits will be
obtained, yeah,
obtained.
right. Oh. Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second again. Judy,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Motion is to approve with conditions. Mr. Primo,
Yes,
Ms. Tompkins Wright,
Yes.
Ms. McKay Drury,
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt,
I just have a question. I was not there for the presentation. I don't have a problem with it, but I just need to make sure that if I was not there for the presentation, I'm allowed to vote.
yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Okay, then yes.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Schwartz
Yes,
and Mr. Mites.
Yes.
Motion to approve with conditions carried.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, the next two, 908 and 09 we'll cover, and I think Heather has to come off this call, correct?
Yeah, I'm recused from this. Should
Okay,
I,
great.
should I stay present at the meeting or should I sign off for the evening?
You should stay on the meeting. You should go off camera and put your mic on mute.
All right.
Okay, very good. All righty then. Okay, Ed, I think you have this. Ken, did you have
Right.
anything you wanted to say, Ken?
No, I don't know if you wanted to have the board members talk or if
Sure.
you wanted to just put forth the proposed
Well,
resolution.
I think, I think people have had it to review, so if there's any reaction to it, that's fine. I didn't know if you had any other
No,
additional.
We did work on a proposed set of findings incorporated into a resolution that has been posted to the website and circulated.
Okay, very good. Okay, so do any of the board members have any discussion related to that? Comments, questions, thoughts?
No,
no,
Okay.
I mean,
we've had this discussion already.
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe so.
number 3 maybe, or whatever.
Yes.
Ken, do you want me to read just the resolution?
Yes, I think that would be a great way to do it, is just to read the resolution. I mean, there's two ways to do this, Ed. One is to read the resolution verbatim, and the resolution itself incorporates the findings. I do not think you need to read each one of the findings.
I
The
wasn't
other,
planning.
the
on-
other, yeah, the other way to do it is, as we do at town board, you can simply move to adopt the resolution incorporating the findings as proposed by the town attorney.
Okay,
And
I'll,
just-
well,
Just to be
I'll do
cons-
that one.
Yes,
Yeah,
B sounds good.
No, hang on, guys.
Hold on, hold
Go
on.
ahead, Rick. Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, just to be consistent with the way we've done it in the past, I think we should read the resolution,
Sure,
okay? I just want us to
Okay.
be consistent with these
that's fine.
as we go forward.
Either way
Okay,
is
well,
acceptable. Yep.
let me start. So with respect to application 9A-08-21, whereas on or about July 19, 2021, Save Monroe Avenue, Inc., open paren 2900 Monroe Avenue LLC, Clifford's of Pittsford LP, Alexico Land Services, Inc., Julia D. Kopp, Mark Boylan, Ann Boylan, and Stephen M. DePerior, collectively SMA, filed application 9A-0821, the appeal with the Town of Brighton Zoning Board of Appeals, the ZBA, appealing the Town of Brighton Building Inspector's issuance of building permit number 202-00504, defined as the third building permit to the Daniele Family Companies, the developer, for the Whole Food Plaza project located at 2740 Monroe Avenue, 2750 Monroe Avenue, 2800 Monroe Avenue, a portion of 175 Allens Creek Road, and a portion of 2259 Clover Street. And whereas the appeal requests the ZBA, one, to annul and reverse the issuance of the third building permit, two, declare that the developer has failed to confirm that it has met all the required conditions set forth under New York State law and in the Brighton Town Code and the incentive zoning and site plan approvals necessary for issuance of the third building permit. And three, award SMA all costs and fees associated with the appeal. And whereas on October 6, 2021, the ZBA held a regular meeting, which was duly noticed and public as required by law. And whereas on October 6, 2021, the ZBA held a properly noticed public hearing with respect to the appeal. And during the public hearing, all persons desiring to speak on the appeal were heard, and such persons also submitted documents and other correspondence for consideration by the ZBA. And all those materials were considered by the ZBA as part of the record for the appeal. And whereas on October 6, 2021, the ZBA closed the public hearing and commenced deliberations with respect to the appeal. And whereas on November 3rd, 2021, the ZBA held a regular meeting, which was duly noticed and published as required by law, where the ZBA continued its deliberations with respect to the appeal. Now,
You can skip this next, you can skip this now, therefore, paragraph, because we don't
Okay.
have a second yet.
well, I move that as follows. Resolved, each of the whereas clauses in this resolution are incorporated by reference as specific findings of this resolution and shall have the same effect as other findings herein, and be it further resolved that after duly considering all the evidence before it, the ZBA in all respects accepts, approves, adopts, and confirms the findings set forth as attachment A, which findings are incorporated herein in their entirety, and resolved in accordance with the records, proceedings, and findings set forth as attachment A, the ZBA affirms the issuance of the third building permit, and it is further resolved in accordance with the record, proceedings, and findings set forth as attachment A, the appeal is denied.
And Mr. Primo, the attachment A to which you are referring is the attachment A in the final agenda packet that was published on the website. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
Second, Member Wright.
The motion is to deny the appeal. Ms. Schwartz,
Yes.
Mr. Mites,
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt,
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins Wright,
Yes.
and Mr. Primo.
Yes.
The motion to deny the appeal carries.
Going on to 9A-09-21. I'll read in the resolution again. Whereas on or about July 20, 2021, Brighton Grassroots LLC, BGR, filed application 9A-09-21, the appeal with the Town of Brighton Zoning Board of Appeals, the ZBA, appealing the Town of Brighton Building Inspector's issuance of building permit number 202-00504, the third building permit to the Daniele Family Companies, the developer, for the Whole Foods Plaza project located at 2740 Monroe Avenue, 2750 Monroe Avenue, 2800 Monroe Avenue, a portion of 175 Allens Creek, and a portion of 2259 Clover Street. And whereas the appeal requests the ZBA, 1, annul and reverse the issuance of the third building permit, 2, determine that the developer has failed to confirm that has met all of the required conditions set forth under New York state law and in the Brighton Town Code and the incentive zoning and site plan approvals necessary for issuance of the third building permit. And 3, award BGR all costs and fees associated with the appeal. And whereas on October 6, 2021, the ZBA held a regular meeting, which was duly noticed and public as required by law. And whereas on October 6, 2021, the ZBA held a properly noticed public hearing with respect to the appeal. And during the public hearing, all persons desiring to speak on the appeal were heard, and such persons also submitted documents and other correspondence for consideration by the ZBA. And all those materials were considered by the ZBA as part of the record for the appeal. And whereas on October 6, 2021, the ZBA closed the public hearing and commenced deliberations with respect to the appeal. And whereas on November 3rd, 2021, the ZBA held a regular meeting, which was duly noticed and published as required by law, where the ZBA continued its deliberations with respect to the appeal. Therefore, I move as follows. Resolved, each of the whereas clauses in this resolution are incorporated by reference as specific findings for this resolution and shall have the same effect as the other findings herein, and be it further resolved that after duly considering all the evidence before it, the ZBA in all respects accepts, approves, adopts, and confirms the findings set forth as attachment A, which is the attachment to the resolution, which is part of this meeting package and has been posted, which findings are incorporated here in their entirety and resolved in accordance with the records, proceedings, and findings set forth as attachment A. The ZBA affirms the issuance of the third building permit, and be it further resolved in accordance with the record, proceedings, and findings set forth as attachment A, the appeal is denied.
Member Wright, second.
The motion is to deny the appeal. Ms. Schmidt,
Yes.
Mr. Mites,
Yes.
Ms. Schwartz,
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins Wright,
Yes.
Mr. Primo.
Yes.
Motion to
Yeah.
deny the appeal carries.
And Rick, again, I didn't get it in quickly enough this time. The attachment A, I assume refers, Mr. Primo, to the attachment A in the agenda as posted on the website.
Yeah, I said that, but yes, that's correct.
All right, I was responding to a text message which brought to my attention that the documents referenced in the findings, which are to some of the prior findings of the ZBA, are incorporated in those attachments by reference. And so I just wanted to note that for the record as well, that those prior findings of the ZBA referenced in the findings attachment A are also incorporated in the resolutions. I don't know, Rick, if it's necessary to have the board vote to confirm that, or if that is just a part of the record that we have.
I'll leave it up to you, Ken, if you think it's necessary for the board to vote on that. We didn't the last time.
Right. I think it's important to make sure, though, that the record does reflect that those prior findings are part of the attachment. They certainly are referenced in the attachment A, which were adopted as part of the findings.
I move that we note for the record that the prior findings with respect to the prior appeals are incorporated as part of these determinations.
Second, please.
I second that.
Do we
All
need to do
members
that
in-
for each, okay. Sorry, do we need to do that for each application?
Yeah, and Mr. Primo, could you just make clear that that is with respect to, I think we can do it in one resolution with respect to both
Application
determination.
9A or appeal 9A-08-21 and appeal 9A-09-21.
And Kathleen had a second.
Yes.
Right.
Mr. Mites,
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins Wright,
Yes.
Ms. Schwartz,
Yes,
Ms. Schmidt,
Yes.
and Mr. Primo.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Okay, very good. All right, well, thank you, everyone. Ken, thank you for doing the work on this. We appreciate it as always. And I guess we will see you all in December.
Any issues with December 1st is the meeting date? Anybody have any issues? Oh, good. Thank you very much,
We're
everybody.
remaining on Zoom.
Yes.
Yes, at least next December, beginning of January, we will figure that out as we go forward. I think check me if I'm wrong here, but the state approval only went to December, correct? The end of December?
No, it's January 15th.
Oh, it's January
Oh,
15th,
good.
so probably January also then.
Okay. All right, well, you will let us know.
If you don't hear from me, I'll see you right here on the big screen.
On the same station, right? Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Good Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy
Bye.
Okay.